Listen to them, children of the night, what noises they make. Today we'll be talking about Dracula from 1931, released February 14th on Valentine's Day. Blah, blah, blah.
How romantic.
How romantic. I just barely found that out today. There's plenty of good things about this film.
There are. It's actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be, just because I'm not one who watches a lot of old films. This one was actually very entertaining, and it kept me entertained the entire time.
For 1931. It's sad that Dracula and some of the other Universal horror films were about the only 30s movies we watch anymore, with the exception of Wizard of Oz and Gone with the Wind that came out in 39. But still, we're talking about early 30s. 1931 is when Dracula came out.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool that kicked off Universal's horror universe. So Universal was doing this like universe before it was cool.
A lot of the shots were very long shots, they weren't like distance wise, but the length of one single shot in a scene was very long, but not the whole time, surprisingly. Some of the shots were actually pretty short. When they zoom up on his eyes, for instance, when he was trying to hypnotize somebody.
Maybe that's where the Westerns got their close eye shot. The close eyes,
right in the
Clint
eyes.
Eastwood.
That's where the light is and the shadows above and below.
Like I think the very first movies to go really close up was probably this movie, Into His Eyes.
Probably.
But before that, we didn't really have that.
It still had those weird close-ups, because there's one part where at the beginning of the movie, there's a guy who's, I'm guessing, some sort of real estate or lawyer or something. I don't really know. To be honest, it's not really clear. He's going to go to Dracula because Dracula's trying to move. And some lady hands him a cross before he goes up there. And it has that one little shot that they used to do in old movies where it shows like a wide angle of her handing out the cross, and then a close up on the cross of like the hand just not moving. It almost looks more like a picture, actually. Although they only did that once, surprisingly, but there were several moments when they could have done it, and I'm actually glad they only did it once, because sometimes that can look a little cheesy.
It's 1931 when this movie came out. They're actually wearing what they wore back in the day. That's what they wore. So I was watching it and I was like, oh, what a nice period piece. And it really wasn't. It's not technically a period piece because it was filmed right in that period. Technically, Indiana Jones is running around the world at this point. Picturing while this movie came out, Indiana Jones is like, that's when it was set.
Funny thing is, I don't think there was a single gun in this entire movie.
And you think there would be plenty of guns when Dracula's around.
One thing that I learned, though, and I didn't realize this because I always knew that Dracula could turn into a bat, but apparently he can also turn into like a wolf, like a large wolf. Mm-hmm. I did not know this.
It was an off-camera.
It was an off-camera, but...
Like, the guy's like, what, is that a dog going across the lawn?
There was quite a few off-camera moments. There was only one actor that I didn't like, and it drove me nuts just because of the way he was acting. Like, the way he presented his character drove me so nuts. I can't remember his name.
I don't know his name either, but...
It's the guy who was the lawyer at the beginning.
I think one of the things you were mentioning that you had a problem with was, like, the guy getting cut with the paper cut. Or paper cut.
Oh, yeah.
Paper clip, yeah.
He got cut with a paper clip. Yeah. The lawyer, how do you get cut with a paper clip?
Yeah.
Paper cut, that's one thing, but he didn't get cut by the paper.
It's like almost
he got cut by the paper clip.
It's almost like they made a mistake and the guy said paper clip instead of cut. And then the carriage, too. You didn't like that.
Oh, that was weird. The carriage comes into the village with the lawyer and a couple other people on it. Everybody gets out, and he's like, yo, I need to go on to go meet this other carriage. And everybody's like, what? No. 2 seconds later, he decides to get back in the carriage, but it's turned around. But you didn't hear anything. He didn't show a shot of it. Nothing. They probably just had the carriage turn around, but they just didn't show it. They should have showed it because it was weird.
Van Helsing.
Oh yeah, it was weird. Van Helsing was in it.
He's an old man. It was interesting that they formally got introduced to each other. Dracula, meet Van Helsing. And I was like, oh, hello.
That was weird.
I also remember that was a good line. It's like, Van Helsing, for living for one lifetime, you are a very wise man. And I thought that was a cool line.
Yeah.
Only living one lifetime. Because Dracula has lived many lifetimes at this point. It's too bad that we don't watch movies this old all the time because there's plenty of from that time period. A lot of love anymore is to the Universal monsters. And it's still captivating to audience today. That sells a lot because that's a pretty old movies, but they've got this like charm about them. It also, it reminds me again of my childhood, and watching those. And those are the first horror movies I could watch.
Well, we certainly really enjoyed it, and we'd like to know what you guys think. What is your favorite Dracula movie? Or maybe interpretation of Dracula? Let us know in the comments below. If you like this movie, please subscribe and hit that like button, and stay tuned for more.
If you want to watch more videos from Movie Herd, go click right there or right there. Blah, blah, blah. I think there might be one right there too.
Many links. Pick one. I don't know where my accent is from, but it's definitely not like Dracula.
Sounds very Russian to me.
Maybe it is. I do not know.
Blah, blah, blah.